Hey everybody! Today I've got a very interesting video. I did a heroic dose of shrooms about a week ago, and oh my gosh, it was chocolate form and I can't wait to share it with you. Okay, so I'm gonna start by setting the context. On the day I did do some fasting. I fasted for 4 hours. Why did I do that? Because when I did ayahuasca, I saw the benefits of fasting for psychedelics slash dieters, because I just felt like things are a lot more clearer when you've fasted. There isn't any other energy from food and you've just detoxed your body in some way before you have the food enter your body. And I also did set an intention. The intention wasn't very big because at this point in my life I feel like there isn't anything that I necessarily need to predict or anything, so I usually leave it to the stars these days. But I just set an intention that was to get to know shrooms, because when I got to know ayahuasca it was very beautiful, and I just wanted to do the same thing with shrooms. So the intention was to get to know the plant, to get to know how the energy is and how best to do that, but by having a high dose and really getting a good feel of shrooms, right? So we've got the context. It was in a lovely scenery garden sort of thing with an ocean with a lake, right? It was like there was a tree behind me, there was a lake in front. I was with my friend, I wasn't alone, and people were running on the other side of the lake, so it was really lovely. The sun was out, everything was just set in stone, the holistic way, the rooted way, right? Made sure to have some snacks for afterwards, because last time I did shrooms last year, I ended up leaving to get a very unhealthy snack midway when it was raining, and I didn't want to repeat that, so I had some lovely snacks, some nuts and grapes and some water ready for afterwards. So my intention was not for shrooms to last 12 hours basically. I did just want it to last about 5 hours. I thought that's how long it would last for, but it ended up lasting 12 hours, and we're going to get straight into that now. As soon as we took the chocolate form of shrooms, I took 3 grams of the chocolate shrooms, and I think my friend did the same as well, so we're both on 3 grams. We just wanted to start to see how strong things were going to get, because we don't want to be stranded and not get back home or anything. So we started with 3. Nothing really happened in the first hour apart from, just enjoying the scenery. It was really lovely, it was really nice and hot. The second hour is when things started to kick in. As anybody knows how shrooms are, things just start to look a bit weird. The grass starts moving, the sky looks so much more beautiful, and the trees are all of a sudden waving at you. So for a moment, for the second half of the second hour, I was just staring at the trees and still having conversations with my friend. It wasn't very I was still here. I didn't feel like I was anywhere else. Third hour is when things started to kick in. So we took it at 5, so this is 6, 7, 8. Around 8 o'clock I started to see every single tree as a soul, right? Not even a soul, but I felt like every little particle of every tree around me could communicate with me. And I started to get like, if I zoned in into one tree, I felt like I could communicate with that tree. And because I've been developing my heart connection, communicating through my heart, so it was a lot easier to kind of assess the feelings that I was getting from the trees, and I was trying to communicate with the trees for the 3rd hour. And then the 4th hour it got a lot darker. That's when I honestly thought I was no longer on this earth. I knew my body was still on earth, but I felt like parts of my body weren't even my body anymore. And I remember I had my legs crossed, and I was like, I don't know how I'm going to uncross them. I don't know how, like, I don't feel like it's my body. So I got up and sat up, and I was so tired I don't remember moving a single bit. At this point also is when I felt the earth basically giving me her mothering energy. I honestly felt like a mother. I was looking after the little bugs that were around me and making sure that they were okay and putting them on the ground, and just that mothering energy made me feel so much love. And I was like, is this what shrooms is? A mothering energy, or is it the way I'm experiencing reality currently? And then after that, I felt, honestly, a blast of energy. All of a sudden, I think the darker it got, the stars were coming out. All of a sudden, I swear to God, I was not on Earth. All of a sudden, I was communicating with my friend as if I wasn't on Earth anymore. I couldn't even barely remember what my friend was saying because I was so preoccupied with what I thought was reality now. And that is, I could see, like, it wasn't spaceship, but I could see shooting stars on the lake, right? And all of a sudden I was like, whoa, I know where I'm from. I know where I came from. This is exactly what I used to do, govern the blimmin' universe. I don't know if this was an egoic thing, I've got to come out straight on that, but I honestly felt like I was in space. I didn't feel like I was a human or like a form of any other race, civilization. I just felt like an atmosphere, and I felt like I was just watching what goes in and out of like this gate. It wasn't a gate, it was just I had to govern what was going in and out from planets. It was very strange, and all the energies around me were so happy. And by energies I just mean like I felt energy of multiple souls, but there wasn't in form, there wasn't a single body or anything, it was just space. And I felt like there was shooting stars everywhere, and I could see Earth to my right a bit further down. When I saw Earth, it was a black ball with grey clouds around it. And at this point is when I was like, oh, Earth. And I literally, bear in mind, I was sat down on my seat with my friend that's having a conversation with me. While I'm trying to continue this conversation, I'm also out there governing space and maybe just looking and I guess being a custodian for what goes into what planet. That's what I felt like. I felt like I had to, my job was to kind of control like immigration, but in space for different civilizations. And I could see Earth in that was black and it had a grey form around it. And I remember thinking at that time, oof, I was like, oof, Earth looks heavy. And I remember saying to my friend, no wonder why they teach us meditation before we come here. I was like, whoa, that makes so much sense. No wonder why they teach us meditation before we come here. Crazy. So at that moment I was like, the things I wasn't really recalling exactly what I was saying, but I remember just looking at Earth and I was like, oof, this is, bear in mind when I say looking at Earth, it's like a visual because my eyes were low-key still open. There was moments where I was closing them and there was moments where I would open them because it was just so fascinating with the trees and stuff. But when I had my eyes closed, I could see Earth. It was black with grey clouds around it and it felt very heavy, like gravity was very big. But it wasn't just gravity that I was feeling, it was almost the negative energy on Earth is so strong and is so current that it's going to take so much effort to get Earth into a positive energy. But if it was to get to a positive energy, it will stay positive because Earth's frequencies and the heaviness of Earth is so powerful that it will be able to keep it down like gravity. I don't know if anybody understands what I'm saying, but that's what I saw. And I just remember going, oh, there's so much to do, there's so much to work on, there's so much going on. I just remember feeling so overwhelmed. And I'm assuming with the wars and stuff like that, and a lot of negative energies going around, I know light workers are doing the best that they can, and we really are. I mean, I try to do as much as I can do, and I know everybody else is trying to do as much as they can do, right? But the heavy energy, the dark energy is so strong, and it was just, it pulls you in. It felt like if I was to go closer, like I'd be pulled in, and it's so easy to be in these cycles of not curses, but you know, of this, to be so easily persuaded to do the wrong thing, to join in with the dark energies. And I just felt like it was just so heavy, and I just remember thinking, oof, like, and I remember at that point, because I'm still out here in the universe while also being on Earth, talking to my friend, trying to communicate with my friend, no clue what was said, but I just remember thinking, there's so much work to do, there's so much work to do, we have healing to do, we have to do this, and we have to, it was just, I felt so overwhelmed. And then all of a sudden I could just feel this warm thing on the back of my head. It felt good. It felt like a light. It felt like something was trying to communicate with me, and there was just so many things coming in. Bear in mind, I'm still in the universe part of this stage, so I just remember like hearing, because I'm currently trying my best to do what's right, and to communicate the right messages on YouTube and wherever I go, and just, you know, help humanity as much as I can with the knowledge that I've acquired from just living on Earth, right? So that's always been my focus in the past 2 years or one. But I just remember kind of hearing and kind of feeling, and that energy with everything around me trying to communicate with me. They said, it's not you that's been waiting to communicate with us, it's us that's been waiting to communicate with you. And I just remember feeling, wow, look at all these source beings, all these energies, all these atmospheres, everything that I've always wanted to connect with, but I felt like they didn't want to connect, or maybe I had to just do, I don't know, it seems so hard to communicate with the higher ups, right? It seems so hard to communicate sometimes with your own soul, but the message that I got back is, it's not you that's waiting, it's us, and we are excited. And I felt a burst of energy, and I was just like, I remember I was trying to listen to everything, but I got so overwhelmed, and it was so much going on, and my friend was like literally trying to keep up, trying to talk to me, but I was like, listen, I actually can't keep up with you right now because I'm very busy. I've got a lot of work to do here. And then I remember going, oh wait, I'm not actually in the universe. But then my lingo was so slow, like I just felt like I wasn't here, but I had to communicate with my friend in the Earth's language. And I remember just stuttering, and like I had to really slow down to communicate with my friend. I was like just trying to transcribe things that I was getting into human language. So yeah, that part was really lovely. And then I remember just feeling so great, and it got to about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock of that whole thing, that whole section. So we left the lovely scenery, and then we ended up going home. The journey home was a comedic journey, you know, just you know, it was nice getting to know shrooms for that side as well. Some people do say the comedic side is a bit of a jokester and maybe a bit malicious sometimes, where you don't know if you're like, if the comedic energy is laughing at you or is laughing with you. Sometimes you do get that on ayahuasca. I felt like I got a bit of that in ayahuasca as well. So now for the last 2 grams, I ended up taking the last 2 grams, and soon as we got a bit close to home, my friend ended up going. So this is about 2 hours, this is about 11 p.m. now. I ended up taking the last bit because I just wanted to experience the whole 5 grams heroic dose. Ended up taking the last 2. Now I'm at home, laying down, ready to experience the rest of the journey. Oh my god, that was a bad idea. I'm not even saying that's a bad idea in terms of the dose, but being at home and doing it. This is my childhood home that I came back to because I'm currently back at home for a time being. So taking it there was a bad idea because every single energy that I once left behind in that house, or would I say even in that area, all of a sudden I was getting all these energies. And bear in mind, while I was on the journey, I kept getting reminded sometimes the energies that you mix with aren't your energy, and it's the energy of the people around you, of the consciousness, of the oneness. Sometimes these things that you are ending up dabbling in and feeling, and, you know, anxious energy, depression, and whatever energy that makes you feel heavy but you don't know why, that's not necessarily your energy that is causing that, but rather you are taking on different energies. So that being said, when I laid down for the second half now, about 6 hours in, 7 hours in, with the extra 2 grams, the 5 gram now in total, I felt a lot of voices coming in. I remember laying down, my beautiful journey ended up just kept getting darker. It kept getting darker. I remember trying to raise the vibration and let it actually, there was a point where I just gave up. I was like, listen, just come in, let's see what you're about, right? I let go. That's what you're supposed to do. Let it go. It came in and it was screaming, it was anger, it was frustration. I felt it all. Just basically that whole conversation became about my sister and how the energy wasn't necessarily being, the angry energy wasn't towards me, but it was rather towards my sister, which was really weird. Like, in my head, of course, I had my eyes closed at this point. There was nothing to look at anymore because it was dark and I was in bed. But it was directed to my sister and I was very confused. I started crying because it was just a very upsetting thing to experience, and it just kept getting worse. It kept getting worse. And then at one point, once I gave up, I think it kind of let it go a bit. The energy just kind of simmered and there was a whole ceremony. I was like, a ceremony? This is very strange. So the ceremony now starts. It's these beautiful architectures. They look like churches. They're white and they keep going up and up and up and up. And it was so slim, the architecture, and it was just so beautiful. I was sat there and I was like, I wonder what I'm having a ceremony for. What are we having a ceremony for? And to be honest, I still don't know what the ceremony was for. But from then, I remember seeing a bunch of cats, and this could be influenced from my research on the Lyran people, which is a race of lion people thing. So there was just a bunch of cats and I was like, okay, interesting. After that, really not much happened apart from the continuous remembrance of Earth's energy is very powerful, the gravity is there, but the good thing is if we change it, it will change forever because Earth's gravity is so strong. I know scientifically Earth's gravity is not the strongest, I know that. I'm just saying the energy around it, maybe it's because there's so many human beings here, there's a whole civilization here, you know, that could be the reason. And then I also remember at one point just watching a commercial for bikinis. And you might think like, okay, alright, you don't need to share that, but I do, because I remember it was just like, I was sat there watching it like in I didn't feel like I was in the bed, honestly. I don't know where I was, but I didn't feel like I was in the bed, and I was watching this commercial and I was considering buying the bikini, and then something just made me think. Something was like, this is the thing, you have to sleep out of it. The things that we have been shown on this planet aren't okay. Half of the things, they're not okay, but it's not who we truly are. And it was a female showing off her body in bikinis, and it just made me feel like that's not all we're here to do. That's not something we should be aspiring to do. We shouldn't be I know it's just bikinis, but I think the whole point of that was some people are sleeping and thinking some things that go on this earth are normal, which contributes to this heavy negative energy that's around Earth at the moment, because half of us are asleep. And the thing is, in that moment when I was watching the bikini thing, I was asleep. I felt like I was asleep because I was starting to enjoy the bikini show on shrooms. I wasn't actually watching the bikini show. In my shroom journey, there was a bikini show in my visuals, and I was just starting to enjoy the commercial until I snapped out. I was like, whoa, what's happening? Like, bikini, that's not okay. Like, this looks like plastic surgery on the female that was wearing it. Looked like she was also, you know, she's done plastic surgery. So yeah, 5 grams. To be honest, after that I felt so terribly sick. I just did not feel very good. There was also a point where I was looking at a bunch of systems. By systems I mean, like, you know, like how do I best explain this? You know how I said I might have been some sort of protector, of custodian of what goes in and out from planets and stuff like that? I felt like I was looking into some system with locks and lots of locks and, you know, lots of keys and lots of safes and stuff like that, and I felt like I was also responsible for this. And I was like, at one point I was like, yeah, everything looks good, everything looks secure. Don't know what to make out of that. But I have to say that was such a journey that I needed at this point in my life. And the things with shrooms, with any psychedelics, that's, I'm not sure about LSD because it's chemically made, but with any plant medicine, in my opinion, will always do what you really need, as in they will give you what you need. And these plant medicines are very much aware of what you need, and they work with your soul, and they're so beautiful. And I think I just can't wait for the day that shrooms are legalized, or any other plant medicine, because it's the way forward. It's the only way forward, because I don't see Western medicine. I appreciate Western medicine for what it does, but it's time that we can get this research sorted. But yes, knowing where, having an idea of your goals in life, of communicating with the higher ups, and them being okay with it, and having a remembering session of coming to earth and feeling like meditation is a necessary lesson that we've probably all been taught before we came to earth, as well as feeling that, just remembering where I might have come from, where we've all probably had a stage, because I didn't feel like a form, I just felt like an atmosphere, I just felt like a particle. Maybe we're all that particle, maybe. And there was a point where I felt like, wait, if everybody is one, then all of us can make up any reality of what's up there. Confusing stuff, but it was really nice knowing where I might have originated from, and seeing some cats and lyran people. And actually, after, I did go downstairs and there was a black cat outside, and I was like, okay, that's nice. Just magically there. Well, it wasn't magically there, because there is a black cat in the neighborhood, but it came right to where I could see it. I was like, this is beautiful. It was very beautiful. Would I recommend to anybody taking 5 grams of shrooms? Be ready. That's all I'm gonna say. You have to be ready with the fast and with your intentions. I definitely got to know shrooms. Very motherly, caring energy, will show you what you want as long as it benefits you and it works with your soul. My whole thing was, I just wanted to know what shrooms was, and I wanted to connect with my guides and with anybody that would like to communicate with me, so I could serve humanity the best way that I can with healing, right? So, and I got that. I got where I'm coming from, why I've come here, and one main takeaway, by the way, is there was a point where I felt like just the smallest inch of change that any human being makes to change their own energy will change the Earth's terrible negative energy that's going on that I saw. Maybe that was just my perception of Earth. You never know, you know? But I just felt like the truth was, currently we are in that energy, in that worrying dark energy, but the more we all try to contribute to this energy, one day it will transform and we'll never go back. Because the way the Earth's gravity with the negative energy works is, as soon as we start to do a lot more positivity, the more positivity spins around, and there's no way for the dark energy to go back again. It's going to be very hard, just as hard as it is for us to change it to a positive right now. It's going to be very hard to change it to a negative energy place in the future. That's all I have for today. I am so happy to be sharing this with you. I don't take shrooms that often. I've only taken it 3 times now, twice last year about this time, and this year as well. And Oof, I wouldn't do it anytime soon, but oh my gosh, what a lovely, lovely, lovely time it was. Although I didn't feel too great near the end, I definitely got what I wanted. I definitely know where I've come from, and well, I think I know where I've come from and what I'm here to do. Just the smallest things, you know, just the smallest change, just the smallest pushes, just, you know, a domino effect. That's it. None of us are here to do the most craziest things, just that one push to somebody, you know, to help them heal. That's all we have to do. That's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe and like and comment. I will be making more of plant medicine related topics as due time. But apart from that, I'll see you next time and have a good day. Bye.